Okay, so this is really crazy. It's a very ad hoc video, but it is what it is. And what a way to end off Chinese New Year holidays. And as you guys have been following, if you haven't know already, Meta, which is Facebook, has just reported their earnings and the stock actually tanked 24%. I think at its peak, it actually went down all the way to 25%. So what happened? Essentially their earnings and their revenue, I think most of them actually beat or just missed slightly. I think the biggest problem with Meta today is really how so much expectations are being baked into the price, and then when they fail to hit the expectations, that's what happened. And I think minimally any sort of investor will tell you that all the FAANG companies are at least expected to grow 15 to 20%. But Facebook actually just reported that in 2022, the first quarter revenue, they only predicted around 3 to 11% growth. And that's just insane. And for a FAANG company, that probably, you can argue whether is it slow or not, but I think that is the minimum amount of growth that you should produce, which is at least 15%. And that's what happened when stocks are kind of priced for perfection. And on top of that, I think at least from the CFO speech, he really started blaming about inflation, started blaming about competition, etc. I think the biggest issue with Facebook really is TikTok's presence and how they are trying to overtake Facebook's dominance in the entire world. And if you were to really look at it and really understand from the economic mode point of view, the funny thing is, it seems like Google do have a superior business model over Facebook because they do seem to be operating in the same industry, which is mainly in the advertising industry, and Google seems to be holding up pretty well, and Facebook is the one that is pretty lackluster thus far. Honestly, if you were to ask me, I'm getting more and more interested in Facebook. And for those of you who are long-time followers of this channel, you know that I actually did buy into Facebook some time back. But I did sell my position again, not because I'm trading Facebook, but because I wanted to buy more Alibaba shares. And right now, I think it's a good time for people to just sit by the sidelines. For people that are interested in the company, please do your own due diligence. And I think especially in this kind of volatile markets, patience is a virtue. You don't have to hurry to buy up all the different shares that you're interested in, especially when they're experiencing like a 20-30% sharp drop. Of course, there might be rebounds, there might be waves in the entire stock price, but like I said, fundamentals always matter. And I think it's really up to you whether you're interested in Meta or not, whether you think the competition is sustainable, is this a short run or a long run thing, and whether you think that Facebook's business model is superior and whether they can come out even stronger from this entire competitive landscape. So with that, I'll probably do a more in-depth video in Meta because I have been trying to study the company for quite some time now, and trading at this kind of level, 240, 250, it's getting crazier and crazier. And of course, please don't put words in my mouth. Cheap valuation is not a bull thesis in and of itself. And of course, it must be supported by some of the key tenets of your bull thesis, and not just because it's cheap. There are a lot of companies out there that are cheap as well. So with that, apologies for not uploading frequently enough. It's Chinese New Year and everyone deserves a break, right? So essentially, hope everyone had a great Chinese New Year, and let's see where 2022 is headed for. I'll see you in the next video, but more importantly, I'll see you on the moon. Goodbye!